Welcome back, everyone. This week we're going to talk about simple interest. So interest is just a fee that's paid for the use of money. So if you borrow money from a bank to buy a car, you have to pay back the amount of money that you borrow, but you also have to pay some additional amount, the interest, for using the bank's money, for them letting you borrow their money. If you deposit money into a savings account, the bank uses your money, and so you earn interest from the bank on your money. The stated rate of interest, or the interest rate, is generally just given as a yearly percentage of the amount that's borrowed or deposited. There are two types of interest. Simple interest is strictly paid as a percentage of the original amount of money that you invest, and compound interest is a percentage of an original amount, as well as the percentage of the new amount that's earned over time. We'll talk about compound interest in the next section. In order to determine the simple interest that's earned or that needs to be paid when you borrow money, we need three pieces of information. We need to know the principal, which is the amount of money that's borrowed or placed into some type of savings account. We need to know the interest rate, which is the percent of the principal that's paid for whatever type of money that's loaned, borrowed, or invested. The interest rate is often given as a percentage. You'll want to convert it to a decimal when you calculate values. And that percentage is generally for a term of 1 year. We also need to know the amount of time that the money is borrowed or invested. If the interest rate is given in years, we need the time to be in years. And then we can use these values to calculate the future value at the end of the loan or the investment. So assume you take $600 from a tax refund and you deposit it in a savings account that earns 5% interest each year. How much interest is earned in the first year? 5% of $600. That's 600 times 0.05, which is $30. So in the first year, you'll earn $30. The future value after 1 year is going to be the $600 that you invest, plus the $30 in interest that you earn, or $630. Simple interest is always paid as a percentage of the original amount of money that you invest, or the principal that you invest. If we look at the previous example, we can determine how much money would be in the account after 5 years by just adding $30 each year. So you'll make $30 in interest the first year, but because it's simple interest and it's always 5% of the original amount that you paid, every year you're going to earn another $30. So by the time that you reach year 5, you will have earned $150 for a total in your account of $750. In general, if we want to determine the amount of simple interest that's paid or earned, we can just multiply the principal, the amount that we invest, times the interest rate written as a decimal, times the time that's passed since the amount of money was borrowed or invested. If we want to determine the future value in those accounts, well, then we just add the principal to the interest that's earned at that particular time. And here we can just write this in some slightly different ways, whichever is easiest to calculate. So if we want to find the future value of a loan of $3,600, borrowed for a time of 3 years, at an interest rate of 8%, which is 0.08, the principal, $3,600. To determine the future value, A, we're going to find that's the principal plus the principal times R times T, or 3,600 plus 3,600 times 0.08 times 3. If we multiply 3,600 times 0.08 times 3, 864, add 3,600, and the future value of the account after 3 years is $4,464. To figure out the amount of interest that's earned each year, well, the amount of interest that would be earned 1 year is just the principal times R times 1, or 3,600 times 0.08 times 1, or $288. In order to meet the payroll during some down period, this company borrows $2,000 at a 4% simple interest rate for 3 months. So what's the interest that's paid after 3 months? First, remember that 3 months is equal to 3 out of 12 months in a year. or 1/4 of the year, 0.25. The principal is $2,000, and the interest rate is 4%, 0.04. To find the interest paid, that's going to be the principal times R times T. So 2,000 times 0.04 times 0.25, or $20. The future value of the loan after 3 months is going to be the principal plus the interest, or 2,000 plus 20, or $2,020. In order to get some cash for books at the beginning of the semester, Marta borrows $600 at an 11% simple interest rate for 2 months. How much interest will she pay, and what's the future value of the loan? So, in order to determine how much interest she's going to pay, the interest is equal to the principal times the rate times time, or $600 times 11%, or 0.11, times 2 months out of 12 months, so 1/6. 600 times 1/6, it's just 100 times 0.1 will just give you 11. In order to find the future value, we just add the principal to the interest, or $600 plus $11, or $611. It's very common for simple interest loans to be paid off in monthly payments or monthly installments. So say a biotech company borrows $68,000 to buy lab equipment at a 9% simple interest rate for 1.5 years, or 1.5 years. We want to find the future value of that loan. To do that, the future value is the principal times 1 plus R times T, which is 68,000, times 1 plus, the interest rate is 0.09, or 9%, time is 1.5, or 1.5 years. It's important when you put this in the calculator that you do everything inside the parentheses first before you multiply. 1.5 times 0.09 plus 1, 1.135. And then when you multiply times 68,000, 77,000, and $180. So after 1.5 years, the future value of the loan is $77,180. To find the monthly payment, we then just want to take this future value of $77,180 and divide by the number of months to find the monthly payment. The number of months in 1.5 years is 12 plus 6, or 18. And so if we divide this by 18, the monthly payment would be $4,287.78. So let's put this all together and see if we can figure all these things out at once. The Lookout Restaurant took out a loan for $5,000. The simple interest rate is 6.5%, and the term of the loan is 3 years. So that means that our principal is $5,000. That's how much money that they borrowed. The interest rate is 6.5%, or 0.065, and the term of the loan, T, is 3 years. We want to find the interest, so the interest is just P times R times T. So if we multiply 5,000 times 0.065 times 3, the interest is $975. The future value, A, is just the principal plus the interest, with $5,000 plus $975, $5,975. And the monthly payment, the term of the loan is 3 years. 3 times 12 is 36 months. The future value is the total amount that will be owed, divided by 36, and the monthly payment, $165.97. So let's look at these problems in a slightly different way. If you invest $8,000 for 30 months and you receive $1,000 in simple interest, what was the rate? What was your interest rate? So what this means is we want to find R. To do that, we know the amount of interest that's earned. We want to start with the amount of interest that's earned, $1,000. That's equal to the principal, $8,000, times the interest rate, times T, 30 months, 30 divided by 12, 30 months converted to years, 2.5 years. We can then multiply 8,000 times 2.5, 20,000, and then we divide both sides by 20,000 to find R. We find the interest rate is 0.05 or 5%. The pawn shop offers to finance a guitar that costs $750 at 4% simple interest. The total interest that's charged is $150. What's the term of the loan, and what would be the monthly payment? So again, just another thing that we can find the term of the loan. If we know that the guitar costs $750, then that's how much we want to borrow. That's our principal. The interest rate is 0.04. The total interest that's charged is $150. So 150 equals 750 times 0.04 times T. If we multiply 750 times 0.04 and then divide to find T, we find that the term of the loan is 5 years. In order to determine the monthly payment, 5 years times 12 months in a year, that's 60 months. The future value is the $750 for the guitar plus the $150 in interest, divided by the 60 months for the term of the loan. 750 plus 150 is 900 divided by 60. So the monthly payment is $15. The main problem with simple interest doesn't account for the money that the account earns over time. So when you earn $30 that first year, that $30 doesn't earn interest the next year, and you're only paid the same amount. Each year you would earn $30. So if you invest $1,000 at 3% interest, you earn $30 one year. The next year, even though you now have $1,030 invested, because it's simple interest, you'll still only earn another $30. So the second year, your interest rate is now effectively 2.9%. So if you continue to earn $30 every year, your interest rate is just going to go down over time. And so to avoid that, each year or each given time point, bank accounts are compounded, which just means that that money that is there that has been earned as interest now essentially replaces the principal, and it can start earning interest too. So rather than earning $30 the second year, you might earn $31.5 the second year, and maybe $35 the third year. And over time, you're earning more and more money. This is the idea of compound interest that we'll talk about in the next section. Please let me know if you have any questions.